Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Market Rant, a podcast where we rant on markets and pretty much anything we feel like talking about. My name is Joe Fahmy. I'm here with my co-host, Tom Canfield. How you doing, Tom?
Hey, Joe. I'm really good, thanks. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm gonna guess you had a profitable week because at least you saved some money cutting your own hair this week. So
I did. I did have a profitable week, but it wasn't so profitable that I could ship my barber to my house, so I had to do my own thing. I couldn't take it anymore.
It looks good. It looks great.
Thanks, man. At least I got some hair to cut. You know what I mean?
That's touche. That's great. So let's I wanted to say we're going to try to maybe do this during the week if we can, or shift it over just because of schedule needs. But I know I know there's something you wanted to get off your chest. We'll try to keep this fairly quick this week, but
really short this week.
Yeah. Sort of your feelings on, Twitter, how it affects psychology, staying focused. I know that was one of the things you wanted to talk about.
I did. It's how do I say this? Because it's like I got all these notes and I got all these thoughts, and you and I have talked about this, and it really, it's something that I want to challenge everybody on. And I'm probably going to piss a few people off, and fuck it.
Okay.
It is what it is. But you got one job as a trader. And I listen, I only speak from the standpoint of somebody that this is my living. This is what I do. If it's a part-time gig, maybe it doesn't matter as much. And if you lose money, it's like, big deal. It's just fun, whatever. I'm not talking to you. I'm literally not talking to you because we're in different worlds. But as a trader, you have one job. You have one measuring stick. There's one fucking purpose, and that is to make money. It's to make money.
Period. End of sentence.
Done. That's it. And so everything you do, everything you let in, everything you absorb, look at, has to serve that purpose. So my question becomes, what actually serves you and what doesn't? And you've got to figure out how to break that shit down and really get honest. And I'm going to put Twitter on the block because Twitter's a drug, man. And many of you people need to hear this. Twitter is not helping you. Twitter is not making you a better trader. Twitter is not teaching you. Okay? I appreciate all the people that follow me and whatever. And it's great, but it's cathartic for me to get my thoughts out and whatever. And I speak as somebody of experience because, Twitter can also be insanely addicting. And so you folks that want to argue and say, idea generation, the news flow is right there in my face. It's so fast. It helps. Yeah, I get it. Occasionally you get a decent idea. Occasionally, you get news fairly quick. I don't want to address that one issue that was bouncing around in my head. I want to finish this thought.
Okay.
But how often, in your pursuit of the idea, how often in the pursuit of news do you get fucking caught just scrolling that screen, reading your feed, and then all of a sudden, you're supposed to be fucking trading, and all of a sudden you're scrolling. You think you're looking for ideas, but some guy you follow that you really like, says something has an opinion about something, and then somebody else comments and shits on it.
You mean
you don't like that?
You won't click on a video of two puppy dogs, one trying to help the other, his brother go hop a fence or something? I mean, that's
or who's got a better GIF? Who can do the funnier GIF or whatever? And you get yourself all caught up in that shit, and you start giggling, or you love the feedback that other people are giving you, and it's like, folks, is that helping you become a better trader? As soon as you all of a sudden you want to comment to somebody, you've got an opinion, or you want to bitch back at somebody, you want to argue. It's like, you're screwed. You're not trading anymore. You have emotions running.
When you're losing an argument on Twitter, when you're even having an argument on Twitter,
right?
You've lost right away. I think what you're getting at is you have to ask yourself, what's the point of being on? My main purpose is definitely news flow as far as. That I have a separate column. I mean, I follow like 1,000 people, but literally 900 of them are comedians because I want to be laughing and I want to be in a good frame of mind during the day.
Yeah.
I use it for that. Now, there are some other people. Trading is a very lonely, intense game that want that sort of, I call it like a therapy session, almost like Traders Anonymous, where you want to feel a community of people around you because I like that guy or I like that girl and I like what they have to say. So I get that. But I think one of the points you're getting at is, if it's anything more than that and it starts to affect you negatively, because as we know, social media can be so toxic with comparing yourself to everybody. If it gets to that point, it gets too toxic and you need to shut it off.
Super toxic. And when we say toxic, all I mean is anything that evokes an emotional reaction inside you. Oh, I don't like that. Or I do like that. Or, oh, I want to defend that guy. Or I want to agree with that guy. Or, oh, shit, I love that I'm getting a lot of likes on this tweet. Oh, and I'm guilty of it. It's why when I say I got to take a break, I'm like, I got to take a break because, you know, I suddenly give a shit. And no offense to you people, but I need to not give a shit about all of you.
Yes.
To be effective as a trader. Because at the end of the day, what works for you? And one idea that might make you $2,000 or something like that, you can't hang your hat on that if there were 9 other times in the last month that you all of a sudden got caught up in a little Twitter battle, or you got caught in an idea that didn't work out or whatever. This is why I say get your own fucking ideas. I said that in the first episode. And it's not because I'm trying to be an asshole, although it kind of comes across that way. My point is, get your own ideas. Do the work yourself. There is value in that. If you think that me or Joe or somebody else on Twitter is going to show you how to trade or give you the ideas that you need to suddenly be better, you are dead as a trader.
Right, because whoever you're relying on, if that person gets off of Twitter, takes a break, which you and I occasionally like to do, or whatever the reason is, no longer tweets, then what? Then
or God forbid, they're just fucking wrong. Yeah. One time they put an idea out and they were wrong, and you don't know why, and you don't know how to handle it, and now you're pissed at that guy because he's wrong. Well, guess what? One of the reasons I don't post charts is because I'm wrong all the time.
I'm wrong all the time too.
The freaking time, because being right doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in trading. How many times do I have to beat that over people's heads when I'm having conversations with them? It doesn't fucking matter.
You had a great line about so many people are so concerned with what other people are doing and people blowing smoke up their ass or something when you should be worried more about yourself.
Yeah, we're talking on the phone and I'm like, people get so worried about other people blowing smoke up their ass. And the reality is you need to be most concerned about you blowing smoke up your own ass. And what I mean by that is you got to be concerned about the lies that you're telling yourself. Okay? You got to be concerned about whether or not you really are as good as you think you are. We go on Twitter to make ourselves feel better, and we get all this feedback because we create this image like we're good traders, or that we know what we're doing because we can post data, or we can post earnings, or we can show a chart so that people think that we know our shit. And we get that feedback because the reality is we're not trading very well, and we need a bunch of random strangers telling us that we're giving them good information to kind of balance the scales so that we don't have to actually take an honest fucking look at ourselves to go, you know what? I suck right now, and I got to clean some shit out and figure out why I suck. And maybe the input that I'm getting from Twitter is actually getting in my way.
That's a great point. I want to come back to it, but I pulled up Dave Portnoy. For those who don't know who he is, he's founder of Barstool Sports, and because there's no sports going on, he started day trading and has some live feed. And I love this tweet he put out. He's like, I don't know how all of FinTwit, financial Twitter, aren't billionaires, because every single person's right about every single stock move all the time. Not only are they right, but it's the biggest no-brainers, and you'd have to be an idiot to not see them coming. And if you want to talk about that.
Right. Like when somebody posts how much money they made on a certain trade and you didn't take it, or you took it and somehow got stopped out on it, or you took it and only got 50 cents out of a 12-point move or whatever, which happens all the time. And it's a no-brainer and it's obvious and it wasn't obvious to you. How does that make you feel? Makes you feel, it doesn't make you feel good. Okay, there's an emotional response. Now you're going to turn and go try and trade. And you're not in an emotional vacuum anymore. effective trading is when you're able to sit at that desk in an emotional vacuum, just observing and executing without emotions coming in. And Twitter fucking jacks with your emotions all the time because you want to be popular, you want to be liked, you want to argue, you want to be heard, you want your opinion to be verbalized, you want to tell some other guy that he's a douchebag, whatever it is. It's just, and it's inane. And so when people respond to me, and Joe, you know, I've talked about this, when people like bitch at me about stuff I said, I don't give a fuck. I don't.
But I don't know why why they care so much. So what I got out of it, fire up some pistachios, eat the whole bag for all I care.
I'm doing it.
What I got out of Portnoy's tweet is, and I've talked to, you know, I have some contacts and resources and so forth. A lot of people are coming to me and saying, you know what, the guy's likable. If, you know, he's animated, he's likable. Okay. For the most part.
I think he's hilarious.
I think he's hilarious too. And I think he's an underrated marketer. He's a brilliant marketer. But anyways, because let's say you do like him, people are like, I want to help this guy. I wish I could, you know, he's short this stock. How the hell could he be short this stock? I want to help this guy. You know what my answer is to that? Why don't you focus more on helping yourself?
Right.
I mean, yes, you want to help people you like and people that are likable, but we all struggle as traders. Like, what is your I wish I could just, you know, be in touch with them and, you know, hey, have him come sit with me and I'll teach him some stuff. Focus on your own trading because we need to work on ourselves more. And to your point, why are you so concerned with what other people are doing?
Crazy. Because it helps you feel better about who you are because your trading or other aspects of your life are not resolving that issue on its own. And it's like, I want to help him. You know, it's like, okay, first of all, Portnoy doesn't need anybody's help. He knows exactly what he's doing. He does not care.
And a lot of it is, and a lot of it is entertainment. And I don't think people realize that. I always tell everyone on Twitter, you don't have to believe every single thing you read. You don't have to respond to every single thing you read, and you don't have to take everything you read so seriously.
Right. So
it's entertainment. That's it.
So my challenge, if you don't
like it, turn it off. It's okay.
My challenge to everybody is if you're active on Twitter all the time, for whatever reason, I don't care if you're sending out stupid shit or you're sending out stuff that's really legit or whatever, take a week off. Just fucking take a week off and see how you feel.
I love doing that. I love doing that. And I encourage people to do that just every once in a while to shut it off. Not because anyone's bothering you, just to maybe you have other shit you got to focus on. There's nothing wrong with that.
Minimize your influences. Minimize the information that's coming into your head. Do your own work. Not because I'm accusing you of being lazy, but you will be better by doing your own shit. Listen, I think that you people are at a disadvantage versus us when we were learning because we didn't have all this shit. And so we basically had to just roll up our sleeves and figure it out. And you know what? So many people have said, oh, people are so lucky because there's so many educators out there now and blah, blah, blah. Nobody's going to teach you really how to trade other than yourself sitting down in the chair doing the fucking work. It's just that simple. You got to do the work.
I've always said when you reach a nice pinnacle in trading, I believe, is when you no longer have to ask somebody else, what do you think of the market?
Right.
Or, hey, what do you think of this stock? You know why? Because you have enough confidence in your process and enough belief in your own abilities. Yes, do I respect what some amazingly consistent money managers and traders have to say? Of course, and I'll listen to them. I'm not arrogant. I'm just saying, usually when you say, hey, Tom, what do you think of this stock? It's because you have a big position and you have a lot of uncertainty. And I think what people need to get to, and you touched upon this point, is get to the point where you have that own conviction by making decisions. We're going to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. So you get to the point where right now I have a strong opinion on the markets. I'll let the market prove me right or wrong. If it's right, I'll stick with it. If it's wrong, I'll change my opinion or stop myself out or whatever it is. But my point is, that's where you want to get to, is you don't need to rely, because if Twitter blew up tomorrow, what would you do if that's all you do is rely on that for other people's opinions and ideas?
Stop assuming, like you said, stop assuming that somebody else knows better than you. At some point, you have to embrace the fact that you are better than everybody else, whether you are or not. And you have to stop assuming that somebody else might know something that you don't know, and just live with what you got. Because what you got is probably all, you're already good enough. You're already good enough. That's the good news of all of this, is that you're good enough. Just, it's up to you to believe that.
You have to believe it. Yeah. Stop worshiping and putting other people on pedestals and be so concerned with others, and start worshiping yourself more and believing in yourself more. And this isn't all like, oh, sunshine and rainbows, like rah, 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 self-help stuff, but it is true. Everything to do with your trading comes from your state of mind, and you have to have that powerful, strong state of conviction when you're approaching this. And if Twitter or something else is distracting you or affecting your state of mind, you have to learn how to shut that out, whether it's the news or whatever else you have infiltrating your mind.
What does that guy know that I might not know? I mean, I'm just sitting here trading a moving average cross, and okay, a moving average cross is the simplest fucking thing in the world to do. I mean, it's like, but if it works for you, then that's what you do. And it's like, but so why can't we do it? Well, because we think somebody else might know more, or there's a little, because it's so obvious or whatever. It's because it's all inside your head, and you end up trying to outjudge yourself or whatever, or feel like somebody knows more, or somebody who's on Twitter says something that makes more sense, that's logical. And it's like, you're killing yourself. No offense to the people I follow, I have 85% of you on mute right now because you just spew out so much shit that irritates me, and I can't afford to get irritated right now.
You're missing all my dumb jokes. Thanks a lot for having me on mute.
It's not a problem. But the point is you have to protect your emotional state. And I believe that Twitter, though it provides really good information sometimes, is a phenomenal source of irritable information that takes you out of your emotional vacuum and makes you less effective as a trader, possibly as a person.
I want to circle back to another point you made, because it's so true about being honest with yourself. And you've talked about this, like just really digging deep when you shut all this out, and digging deep and being honest with yourself about your own results. And really, I mean, you word it way better than I can, about just really digging deep and being, truthful when you're looking at your own trades and so on.
Yeah, it's hard. It hurts. It hurts to come to grips with your own insecurities. It hurts to come to grips with your own neediness. It hurts to come to grips with, the fact that you need other people's approval, or that you like that somebody says, gosh, what a great point. Or it's like with this podcast. I told Joe, because right now I'm obsessed about being a better trader. It's all I care about. And I told him before we even started this thing, if this helps me with my trading, I'm all in. But the moment that it starts to invade, I'm out. I'm dead out. And
okay, welcome to the final episode of the Market Rant. Thanks for joining, guys.
You have to be that ruthless about your performance.
Subscribe down below.
Yeah, please subscribe. We will not be putting out any more episodes. And I think you know why. It's just, I don't know, I'm finding 100 different ways to say the same thing, but you've got to look hard at yourself and be honest about your areas where you can't handle shit. Sometimes I start reading Twitter and I realize I can't handle this. I'm getting really pissed at these people, or I need to tweet something that everybody likes because I need to feel better today. Anybody that says they don't do that's lying. I do.
We're all guilty of it. You just need to minimize it and not feel the need for significance. Like, hey, right. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And like we all know, everyone's life on Facebook is bullshit, because you always post when you're at front row at a sporting event, or when you're at, this at a concert. But when you go visit your alcoholic uncle in the mental institution, you're not checking in, because no one wants to talk about that. Not that. All right,
so let's talk about the fact that we're going to start doing this during the week.
Okay.
Because we're not going to do it on the weekends anymore. Number one, I'm having a hard time doing it on Saturdays because Saturday's like my checkout day, and
same here.
So and I think with everybody running out, whatever, it'll be better to get it during the week. And we're going to try and keep these shorter, like to 20 minutes, which is in the next 30 seconds, so that you guys aren't having to swallow down huge, 45, 50-minute chunks of us just rambling and bitching up a storm about certain things. But
one thing I want to say is I think we're going to do different flavors to this, because people love the psychology and they love that we're being real. I say this every single episode. Just because you have a lot of followers and you've been doing this for 20 plus years doesn't mean you don't make mistakes. And I think people from the feedback we're getting, and I'm very grateful for it. They say, hey, you guys are keeping it real because we're admitting we make mistakes, and we're saying it's okay to make mistakes. Just try to minimize them, learn from them, and constantly, like I've said a million times, most successful people in the world are always looking to improve. You got to be honest with yourself, make decisions. Hey, you know what? Maybe that decision will be right. And if it's wrong and you made a mistake, reevaluate your work, and that way it helps you strengthen your next decision. So
learn by doing.
That's one of the things we're trying to stress. But at the same time, we'd also, because we can talk about the psychology and people love that, we can do different flavors, whether it's bringing people in, spotlight trades, whatever we decide to do with guests or whatever. We'd like to try to keep these shorter, but also, try to put out more content with different flavors of content.
No Twitter for a week, people. Try it. If you see what happens. No Twitter for a week. Who's got it in them? I probably don't. I'll try though.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, Tom. It was great. And we have so many
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
To all the amazing
98.4% of the viewers are men. If you got a mom out there, make sure you call her tomorrow and wish her Happy Mother's Day.
Exactly. Happy Mother's Day to all the amazing moms that keep this world an amazing place.
Amen.
We have so many topics to talk about, but we will get into them and continue with shorter hits in the future. So thanks again. Have a great weekend.
Good talking to you, Joe.
Yep.